One last thing we want to look at with functions is also the ability to pass in an undefined number of parameters. So let's say that I want to create a function that can take any number of parameters, and I don't know beforehand what this number can be. So for instance, let's say we'll create a function here that is called print strings out, or print strings, and it can take a bunch of strings. And what I could do is say var arg, which means variable number of arguments, and I'll say strings, and this is of type strings. Okay? And what this is going to do is allow me to pass in as many strings as I want. And I can do, for instance, a for string in strings, print line, string. So now I can call this with print strings, and I can say 1. I can call it with 1 and 2. I can call it with 1, 2, and 3. I can call it with 1, 2, and 4, 3, and 4. So you can see I can call this with any number of arguments. So var arg allows us to create a function that takes any number of arguments undefined beforehand and print them out. Now, there is one thing here with var arg that we should be aware of is how do I pass in these, for example, to another function. So let me go ahead and take this, and I'm going to refactor this out to another function. Okay, I'm going to call it working with strings, or actually really printing strings. There you go. So now I've created really printing strings, which is going to take an array of strings. And what I want to do is eliminate this for now, because that's just the compiler has kind of like inferred that, the refactoring has kind of inferred that for me. And I'm going to create this again as strings and a var arg of strings. Okay? Now, notice what's happening here. First of all, it's going to give me a compiler error, because I want to actually pass this var arg to this. And what we do for this, we use what's called the spread operator. So we put the star beforehand, and now we can actually pass that value in. Okay? And if we execute this, we can see a whole bunch of output from all of our different functions, and then we can see the 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3 that is being printed out as a result of this. So this is the spread operator, which basically effectively means I'm going to pass in the var arg to another function, and that's going to call it with the var arg as well. So to summarize what we've seen with Kotlin functions, we can see that functions are declared using the keyword fun. By default, the return type is unit, and so it's equivalent somewhat to void, although we can actually check against it, etc. Functions allow us default parameters, named parameters, and unlimited arguments. And single expression functions don't need the actual function block, and the compiler actually infers the type of the resulting expression that's being returned from that function.